Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Nightly Sports Call.
All right, thanks a lot, Ken, and thank you for tuning in to the Nightly Sports Call right here on the Pittsburgh CW. Please give me a call tonight. 412-575-2600 is the number. I'm hanging out with Gene Collier tonight, and we could talk about this Pitt game if you want to. It's going on right now. Terrible first half for the Panthers, but good thing there's a second half, and good thing they have a running back named Darren Hall right now. But unfortunately, they're down by 3 to a 1-8 North Carolina team. Gene, what do you think so far? You think the Panthers are going to win this?
No, I don't. Hall is a heck of a back. 4 touchdowns tonight. They don't seem to quite know what to do with him, but yeah, Pitt in trouble again at home against a terrible team. Not a good look.
Yeah, and it seems like it's the same MO for the Steelers, the Panthers. You know, they had 2 weeks basically to 10 days to prepare for this team, and you would think that they would have come out.
You would think.
Yeah, it seems like that's the case with with the Panthers. Maybe every team kind of goes through this. The Steelers have had those issues, but I did want to bring up an interesting question right now that I received on Twitter today. Someone tweeted me, "Is Darren Hall the best running back in Pennsylvania?"
No.
No, I mean, there's a guy up at State College named Saquon Barkley. But I just wanted to bring that up because, I mean, he's on a good 3-game stretch here.
Sure is.
Barkley hasn't really done much. I mean, Barkley's going to be the number 1 or number 2 overall pick. I'm not going to put him in Barkley's category, but this kid looks pretty special right now.
Yeah, no, he looks like a really, really good back. Saquon Barkley is really kind of one of a kind. I mean, he is, some people would say, slumping right now, but I don't think it's his fault. There's nowhere to go behind that Penn State offensive line. Plus, Penn State's offense is so complicated that sometimes it fools itself. It takes a long time to get things going in that backfield. It kind of mystifies me at some point, but is Hall as good as Barkley? No way.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I was just bringing that up because I found it as an interesting tweet.
I think this guy on people's mind.
This guy has 3 really good games. He's averaging more than 6 yards a carry, but he's not in the class of Barkley yet. He does have another year, which is good for Pitt. At least they have another running back in line.
In theory, Barkley does too, but he won't.
Yeah, but he won't be back. I mean, how's he going to fit behind that Browns offensive line? He's struggling now. Wonders what he's going to be like next year behind that offensive line. So, well, we'll talk a little bit about the Steelers heading to Indianapolis. Some injuries, but the good thing for the Steelers right now, Gene, is they're healthy. It looks like they're getting Gilbert Tuitt back, but Mike Mitchell is maybe the only iffy guy, and if he doesn't play, you have a Wilcox, Golden. I don't think they suffer too much, especially in this kind of game.
Well, the problem there, if Mitchell can't play, is his experience. He kind of runs that secondary. The other guys have nowhere near his experience, so obviously you'd prefer Mitchell play. Mitchell's situation is a little curious. His injury is an Achilles. Usually, I mean, in my experience anyway, an Achilles is all or nothing. I don't think you kind of nurse Achilles back to health in a matter of days, but that seems to be what Mike Mitchell's trying to do. I mean, I wouldn't doubt him, but it's kind of weird. Yeah,
Mike Mitchell is definitely an Iron Man, and he was out there on a limited basis the last 2 days, which is encouraging. We'll see tomorrow. I guess tomorrow is a good barometer of where he is and if he'll play. If he practices full tomorrow, he's probably going to play. If he's limited again or not practicing, then it looks like he'd probably be out against.
Yeah, that's right. But at this point, I do not expect him to play.
I guess the upside is that it is the Colts offense with Jacoby Brissett as the quarterback. So, but you're right. I mean, he is one of the leaders on defense, and he doesn't get enough credit, I think. I know he gets credit for some of those big hits and some penalties, but doesn't get enough credit for being a pretty good player back there.
That's right.
One of the things I wanted to bring up, so the Colts are without Vontae Davis now, released, unhappy. I guess he had a groin injury and expressed his unhappiness publicly, and the Colts have had enough with one of their star defensive backs, and that's also going to be helpful for the Steelers offense, I would imagine.
You would think so. That's also a really weird situation. I mean, they did not take him with them to, where did they go? Houston last week. And he was really upset about that because it was unclear to him and the team whether he was hurt or not. Now he says he is hurt and he wants to go to his own doctor. And the team said, yeah, go ahead, go to your own doctor, and on the way, go through that door and don't come back.
Yeah, it's really interesting sometimes now what players do and how they force maybe teams to waive them or release them. I mean, I think Martavis Bryant tried to do that, but the Steelers didn't do it this time. I think they learned their lesson from LeGarrette Blount a few years ago, which came back to haunt the Steelers. So if you want to call about Pitt, phone lines are open, 412-575-2600. There's still about 5 minutes left, Gene, in that game. Also, the Steelers and your thoughts on this game coming up against the Colts. And I'll field some Penguins questions if you want. The one thing going on with the Penguins right now, they're in the middle of the pack in scoring goals, which is surprising to me. This is a team that, Gene, don't you think this is a team that should be near the top in goal scoring with all the talent on the team?
Yeah, you imagine. But they have really good goaltending, or as good as it can be without Marc-Andre Fleury. And I believe they're in first place. Are they in first place?
Well, I don't know what happened today. They were in first place in the Metro. They're in the top tier there. So that's still good. And like we always say, it's November.
There's only 8 months to go in the hockey season. So.
But the one thing that's maybe concerning is Sidney Crosby hasn't scored a goal in 9 games. He only has 3 points in that stretch. So that's something that they definitely have to turn around this weekend. Tough back-to-back stretch in D.C. and then Nashville. So give us a call. 412-575-2600 is the number. Or send me a tweet. I like to read some of them sometimes. At Richie Walsh. See you in a couple minutes.